Welcome to another Numbering the Days channel word study. As we number the days to the Festival of New Oil, this is our last word study for the festival because it starts next week. We know that the wise virgins have plenty of oil in their lamps, and today we are focusing on another use for the oil in the tabernacle. It's the fuel that burns in the holy place menorah, and the lamp description and design given to Moses was based upon the tabernacle above. In this word study, we're going to relate almonds, the 22 letters of Yahudyath or Paleo Hebrew, and the menorah design. If you watch our week 24 video coming out at the same time as this one, you'll notice some overlap because we start talking about the Festival of New Oil. I really enjoyed doing this word study, and I'm going to leave you with a few things to ponder as you number the days with us. Now, we don't usually spoon feed people on this channel. We want to encourage you to think and meditate on these word studies and hear answers from the Ruach for yourself. So let's get started. Okay, so it's week 24. We're going to do the words menorah and almonds just in time for the Festival of New Oil. If you've not seen our other word studies related to this same festival, go check out our word studies on vines, oil, and olives. We suggest that you do watch them before week 25, because everything's going to be pulled together during the Festival of New Oil. We are doing this word study because the virgins are supposed to have oil in their lamps, and they're supposed to be wakeful and watchful for the return of the groom. And the lamp that requires olive oil is also the menorah, so that's why we're doing menorah. But when the virgins are supposed to be wakeful and watchful, you'll find this in both the menorah and in what the virgins are supposed to be doing. The word for almonds, there's only one, and it's shakad or shakade. Remember, different Strong's numbers will have different pronunciations, but we're going back to just Yahudyath with no vowel pointing. Here's all your Strong's numbers. Now, the basic meanings for Shin Kuf Dalet is to be wakeful, watchful, alert, be on the lookout like a watchman, and you're sleepless because you're staying awake. It also means cups shaped like almond blossoms or something that's almond shaped, hence the word almond. Now, in Scripture, when you combine all these Strong's entries and just look at how it's been translated, it's been used, these three letters been used as watch, translated as watch 9 times, almond 8 times, almond tree twice, and wake once. Now, it's also been translated as to remain, hasten, and bound, and I put these in a different color just because those would be some really interesting verses to go look at and see why they chose these English words, and check out that translation for yourself. Now, when I looked at the components, the sub 2-letter roots that could make up shakad, it was interesting. Shin Kuf is found in Klein's dictionary and in Strong's. And in Klein's, it means a check, agreement, or a contract, which just really was surprising. And Strong says it's legs, as in Daniel 2:33. This is the legs on the statue. It also has been Strong says it means a sackcloth, mesh, or sacking. And these could not be any more different. I just was, this is very messy, if you ask me. So there's more to be understood. And these two reference books are really in different opinions. Kuf Dalet is missing in both places. If you added a hay and you had Kuf Dalet hay, you'd have cassia. And it means to be curled up and bent. Like, the cinnamon bark. It's rolled over and it's rolled up and curled up. If you added Yod Mem, you'd have a word for doors, decisions, ancient decisions, something from ancient times that produces something that rises up. And then I thought, okay, well, what is the outside two letters? You know, if we split a word with the symbol of the kuf, then you end up with a word that means the breast of a woman or an animal. A woman's breast, as they are bulging to provide nourishment. And I thought, wow, okay. So those are the components in this word for almond and to be watchful. And when it came to alternative meanings, I just got none. I got a blank zero. I sat there and meditated for a minute or two, and I'm like, I don't see anything. But if I take the alternative meanings and I look at the remaining letter, because there's three letters, so if I take the sets of the two, and I look at the remaining letter, then I got some things like this: a contract and agreement for a pathway or a portal. A contract and agreement with the door. The Messiah said, you know, he's the door to the sheepfold. An agreement for cleansing fire. A woman's breast rising up, providing nourishment from above. Or a woman's breast producing a whirlwind, a vortex of empowering light. I thought, okay, this is getting more interesting. Then I looked at the letters only, just by themselves. And I came up with trials and tribulations provide cleansing and sanctification to rise up through the portal or pathway above. Or El Shaddai's vortex, whirlwind for guidance and decisions to open pathways and new directions, new portals. So that's what I got when I just looked at the letters. And one thing I want you to notice with this word shakad is that if you do a letter shuffle, meaning you take the same letters and you rearrange their positions, you will have the word kodesh, or holy. And in Proverbs 8:34, where wisdom, a woman, is speaking from above, it says, blessed is the man who heareth me watching. It's the word shakad, daily at my gates, waiting at the posts of my doors. So I thought it was really interesting to think about rising up, the woman rising up, being sanctified and risen up to hear wisdom above. It's all feminine in nature here, but this is the word for almond, and to be wakeful and watchful. And here you are needing to be watching at the gates of wisdom. Okay, that's the word for almond. Now here's the word for menorah. Strong's number 4501, Mem Nun Vav Resh Hey, menorah. Means a menorah, the seven-branch menorah in the tabernacle, a candlestick or a lampstand, and its biblical usage is spit and clean candlestick. 40 times, that's it. No calling it something else. Now there are lots of components to this because it's got a lot of letters. So let's look at those. The mem in the front is a prefix. It means from, by, with, in the place of, in the condition of. And then we have the two-letter word manna, or memnoon. Here's your references. All this column's got all your references. We have the manna, the bread in the wilderness of the Exodus. We have a meaning of something that's a part of, some of, away from, out of the hands of. It also means to number and count. We have memnoon vav, which is missing in Strong's, but it's in the Klein's dictionary. And they define manu as manna or a musical chord. They say the word manna and musical chord. I thought the musical chord got to be kind of interesting. Okay, next word that we find is menorah. It's both, you find it both places, and it means a beam, a weaver's beam, or a boom for shipping. Now, a weaver's beam is the board or the metal or whatever was used that's across the top of a weaver, like when they would weave rugs or cloth. And it's got a round spindle on both ends where you can turn it, because it would have all the threads coming down from the top where they would weave in. The shipping boom is I saw pictures of it, and it's on the ship where the sails are attached to and things are unfurled from it. So it's, large expanse of a piece of wood or metal, depending on what kind of ship. Olden ships had wood. So in the verses, when I've looked at this word and where it shows up with, I mean, some of the men were fighting with something that was a menorah. And I actually got the impression that it could be lightsabers. I know I put a question mark here, but it's a very interesting word that you should go look at some of these verses and check them out. Because I thought it's where it shows up in battle. See, this is a battle word. I know we use this to make cloth and things, but it's also been used in battles. Okay. On the inside, we have the word nun vav resh, which means to give light, to shine, to burn. It's a fire. It's the same kind of fire that's issuing forth from his throne above. Fire of the fiery furnace. So here's an interesting fire word that's giving light. And if you put the hay on the end, then inclines, you end up with a word that meant electric light bulbs or light from a lamp. So it's definitely in the theme of light. And hence it's a menorah, so it's got to have light somewhere in it. And here we are. Okay, resh hay, these two letters are missing everywhere, and the hay on the end is a suffix for her or hers. So the menorah is a feminine noun, but it's also active because it's giving forth light. And it's also related to musical chords. Okay, continuing down with the alternative meanings. So this is using those components we just went through. We could have something that says the place of her shining and giving forth light. The manna nourishment of her perception, perceiving form and appearance. Her beam, her weaver's beam or boom. Her weapon, rays of light, or a place of electrical discharge and light. If I looked at some of the components, and I use the Yahudyath understanding I have of the letter meanings, I even got a definition here of, or a suggested way of looking at this word of musical chords, or music, coming from, played, or manifested by an elder, a prophet, or an anointed person. So the menorah word could be that the music is actually coming from and being manifested through the resh, through the elder, through the prophet, or an anointed person. I thought that was kind of interesting. The light would be coming through them as frequencies, as music. Thought about King David a lot when I looked at that. Okay, if I look at just the letters on the menorah, I get what was nurtured and born in the innermost part of us, or in Elohim, is energized and connected, joined to the elder prophet or anointed person to express the Ruach. It's like what was inside of us or inside Elohim is going to be joined to the person and being expressed through the power of the Ruach. It's coming out. Okay, and next one is what was nurtured, born in the innermost part of us. You know, that word, we're supposed to take that word inside and plant it in this space, in this mem space. It's energized and connected and joined to the elder prophet or anointed person to manifest in this realm. I mean, it's actually to become physical. That power, the light that's coming forth, flowing through the Resh person is going to manifest into the realm. Like if we thought about Moses standing with his staff raised and the waters are parting. Or Elisha, who took the mantle and threw it down, and the waters parted. So we have a picture of the light, the power of the light coming forth, coming through that elder prophet anointed person to manifest into the realm. Or David, who played music chords to Saul that calmed his ruach. Okay, the last option I have here when I looked at the letters was the feminine waters and light is energized and expressed through the elder prophet anointed person to manifest in this realm. Because when you remember in first Enoch, we had feminine waters and masculine waters, and the menorah has got a feminine nature to it, and the ruach is feminine, and so I thought about the feminine light as being expressed. Okay, some things to ponder. Let's consider the menorah first. It has 22 bowls for light on 7 branches. You get this from Exodus 37:18 through 20. And I've highlighted the word bowls every place that it occurs. I know most of the people watching this video will have studied the menorah and its construction. It has the big branch in the middle and 3 branches that are curved, so that usually they depict it with 7 lights across the top, because there's 7 tops. Okay, so we have 22 bowls here. Okay, shining light. You see, these bowls that are shaped like almonds, shaped after the fashion of almonds, in the candlestick with 4 bowls. See, there are all these bowls that are being described. And we know from prior word studies that the children of Yasharel were to supply the tabernacle with plenty of olive oil, so that the menorah in the holy place was always lit. And it was the duty of the priests to keep the menorah full of oil and to not let the light go out. So this is a physical picture. Now let us ponder the biblical metaphor. There are people, and I happen to be one of them, that believes the bowls were the place that had lights. I know we see pictures of menorahs with 7 lights on the top, but some of us do believe that the 22 almonds were the lights on the menorah. Anyway, that's a side note, just a theory. So that's a physical picture. Now let us ponder the biblical metaphor. In Psalm 119, 105 through 106, by the letter Nun, which is in the word menorah, see, what was in the heart space is being energized to be brought forth. It says, "Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path. I have sworn, and I will perform it, that I will keep thy righteous judgments." So remember, if you've been following our channel and watching the Moedim videos, you will definitely at this point understand that the virgins have already been betrothed. They've agreed to keep the instructions from the groom's father. And when they were betrothed, that contract, they entered in a contract, an agreement, and made a vow. And it has been put in writing. She's made a vow to keep what is a part of the groom's family. Keep that ketub, the agreement with her groom. So that agreement was written with letters. The ancient biblical word of Elohim in the Yahudyath language has 22 letters, and there were 22 bowls on the menorah. 22 oaths, signs, and symbols that shine light onto the path. So ask yourself, what is the fuel in the lamps of the Virgin? How is the olive oil related to the 22 letters and the word or light shining through the menorah into the holy place to light it up? What is supposed to be inside the wise virgins shining within us in the holy place within, for the kingdom of heaven is within you, says WhatIsAMenorah. This concludes our word study for the Festival of New Oil. This last one. Be sure to watch this word study in conjunction, with week 24. I'm doing the Feast of New Oil Part 1. This is the end of this study. If you happen to be a member of our community study group, and we'd invite any of you who are interested in studying with us to look in the description of this video and email us. There is some more information that we'll be discussing on Sabbath. I hope you have a blessed day. Shalom. Please like this video. Leave us a comment, please. It'll help other people see these YouTube videos. The more likes we get, the more comments we get. So have a wonderful day. Shalom.